Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Oh, one quick disclaimer before we jump into the video. I am setting up a membership scheme for this channel. So if you are someone who loves to support the underdog, then that is something you will soon be able to do here, because I most certainly am an underdog in the conservative commentating community. Not going to have anything extravagant like some of the bigger content creators do. It's just going to be a coffee club in which for the monthly price of a coffee you could support the Hoggcast. Okay, so onto the video. What we got here today is another relatively short video containing 3 clips of Joe Biden. The reason why I'm doing this is because I am perplexed at how so many people could have casted their stone, if you understand what I mean, for this man. 81 million stones cast for this man, and we've got these 3 latest clips to show you, but really, you know yourself that we could watch a million clips of this type of thing, and you just think to yourself, what is going on? But the biggest question is, who are these they? Joe Biden often talks about they. They told me not to speak to reporters. They gave me a list of reporters to take questions from. They are going to do this. If I speak to you, they'll end me. And so on and so on. Who are these they? This man has been installed like a toilet. That is the only reasonable stance you could take, really. In my opinion, of course. So let's get into these 3 clips now. If you haven't yet, though, please like the video, subscribe to the Hoggcast, hit the notification bell, and share this video around. That will help us stay competitive with the large dogs in this ecosphere. Okay, let's go. Okay, so the first clip now. Here is Biden refusing to take questions on Afghanistan, point blank refusing, when this is the commander-in-chief. You know that in America, uniquely, the president is also the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, works very closely with the Pentagon, and so on and so on. So to refuse to take questions on something that is at the forefront of a lot of people's minds is a dereliction of duty in its purest form. Take a look.
Much and thank you, Commissioner. I really think it all works. I'm not supposed to take any questions, but go ahead.
Mr. President, on Afghanistan.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now.
Can you say if there's still an
Okay.
acute risk?
So he turned his back. Well, watch again. He turned his back on reporters asking him a question. Had they have asked him about ice cream, you know, his favourite thing, what ice cream you're drinking or eating or whatever you do with an ice cream, he would have answered, right? If one of the reporters had said, Mr. President, just how bad is the orange man, he would have answered. But because he got asked, I think he is aggravated that the mainstream media aren't lapping him up anymore. You have to remember, their only job was to get him in power. Okay, that's done now, right? So the goodwill seems to be evaporating. Let's watch again. He turns his back. And remember, he's been told that he's not supposed to answer any questions, right? Who's telling the leader of the free world this? Who's telling the leader of the free world, you don't answer any questions? To the point that he turns his back on the American people, literally and figuratively. Take a look.
So thank you very much, and thank you, Commissioner. I really think it all works. I'm not supposed to take any questions, but go ahead.
Mr. President, on Afghanistan.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now.
Can you say if there's still an
Okay.
acute risk?
So thank you.
And then they're applauding him. Look at the end. He's turned his back on the American people. He's again mentioned this mysterious group of people, the they people, who they tell him not to answer questions. They tell him when he is answering questions who to call on. Who is this they? He is a mouthpiece for, I'm not sure if it's lobbyists, I'm not sure if it's globalists, I'm not sure if it's postmodernists, but he is a mouthpiece for a small group of people around him who are dictating terms to him. And he is all but telling us this, the leader of the free world, he's all but telling us this if you just read in between the lines. You know, sometimes to get the message, you have to read in between the messages, okay? The power of deduction. This is something that conservatives seem to have, that, I'm afraid to say, leftists seem to lack across the board, right? Anyway, look, let's move on to the next clip. In fact, now first again, watch the clapping at the end.
So thank you.
You're being applauded for doing a bad job. Anyway, let's move on. So the next clip is a bit of an older one. When I say older, I mean only a matter of days. The first clip is brand new. This one here, I'm showing you it. You've probably seen it before. I'm showing you it just to emphasize and to back up what I said about the first clip. Okay. So this is a couple of days old. It's very shortly after the incident at the airport in Kabul. And again, it goes back to the they.
Of Afghanistan. We will find them and we will get them out. Ladies and gentlemen, they gave me a list here. The first person I was instructed to call on was Kelly O'Donnell of NBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, they gave me a list here. They gave me a list. He was instructed to call on so-and-so from NBC or whichever one it was, who's going to ask him, oh, you know, ice cream, come on, man. Tell me a bit more about Corn Pop. I heard he was a bad dude. Right? Now, when I first saw this clip, I thought it had been manipulated in a little way. Right, it was a longer version of the clip. It had the bit that comes after that with all of the reporters asking the questions, then Peter Ducey, who managed to get a question in, and this was that infamous photo you saw of Biden kind of curled up, responding to an actual question. Now, when I watched this, I thought it had been manipulated a bit because there's just something wrong with Biden's eyes. I've said this before, I always focus on his eyes. They look glazed over. He looks as if he's being medicated with something that, how can I word it? He looks like he's being medicated with something that people often brew, shady type of people brew and then sell. America has a problem with it. I'm sure you understand what I mean.
Afghanistan. We will find them and we will get them out.
Nobody believes that, Biden. You're going to find them and you're going to get them out. They've taken over the whole country. All of Afghanistan. You're barely holding on to the airport and you're leaving now. You're not going to. But look what I said about his eyes. So he has some sort of, I'm convinced he has some sort of injection, and then that gives him a good 30 seconds to a minute of energy. And then after that minute, he collapses like a squid on land, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, they gave me a list here. The first person I was instructed to call on was Kelly O'Donnell of NBC.
He was instructed by they to call on Kelly O'Donnell. Okay? And he just says it, right? Because he's been in the swamp for so long, I don't think he sees any issue, especially as his age is getting on and his mental capacity is shot, as we all know. I don't think he understands how it comes across to the common people who he has not had anything to do with for over 50 years. If you've spent 50 years in Washington, because the world has changed a lot in 50 years, right? And over that 50 years, you have grown further and further away from the common person. to him, I don't think he understands how bizarre it appears to the common person when the so-called leader of the free world, the commander-in-chief, is taking instructions from they. Okay, so this is the final clip. This is something different. It's not about the mystical they giving instructions to Biden, but it just shows you how it's a facade. Everything about globalist politicians, in my opinion, is a facade. So this is Dover Air Force Base. The bodies of the fallen troops are returning, and you can see Biden at one point check his watch, as if to say, oh, come on, how long is this going to take? Do we really have to stand there? I think he needs his extra shot to continue going, to give him the energy. He probably needs his nap. Maybe he wants his 2 scoops of ice cream. Come on, man. Anyway, let's check out what Corn Pop's got to say.
Who was one of the 2 female Marines who were killed among the 13.
There you go. We'll watch the whole clip. It goes on for 26 seconds, but it's what I'm saying. Look. He's looking down at his watch. Hey, maybe Jill Biden is the they. Or Barack Obama. A lot of people are saying it's kind of like Barack Obama's 3rd term. That's what it feels like.
She was the one who posted that Instagram post holding the baby saying, I love my job, just a few days ago.
Okay, so we all know that a president is a busy man, right? We know that. But to check your watch, how callous is that? And he knows when people do things a certain way, it gives off the it gives the game away that they know what they're doing is insensitive or wrong, or pick a descriptive word, right? Because he doesn't do it out in the open. He doesn't check his watch out in the open. He sneakily does it, hoping no one watched him do it. And when people do something sneakily, it's because they know they're doing something wrong, or insensitive, or whichever word you want to use. Watch again.
Nicole G., who was one of the 2 female Marines who were killed among the 13.
There he goes. Quickly, so no one notices.
She was the one who posted that Instagram post holding the baby saying, I love my job, just a few days ago.
Which, look, in my opinion, and many others, that this is quite an insensitive thing to do, you know. You ordered, or at least the people, this mystical they, ordered the troops to go to the airport, right? And 13 of them have now come back in boxes. Most of them, if you look at the ages and the names of the ages of the fallen heroes, most of them were literally 20 years old, or within 5 years of that, right? There was one, I can remember, the staff sergeant, who was 32 or 33, I think, 31. But most of them were literally 20, or within 5 years of that. Very young people. Biden has been in the Washington swamp for over twice as long as those young soldiers were alive. Some of them were even female. We had young female soldiers destroyed at the airport by a you-know-what bomber. And Biden checks his watch. It sticks in my throat, and I wanted to show you this, to share this with you and my opinions on it. We'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think about the clips we've shown. Let me know what you guys think about this they. I want to know who the they is. These people who instruct him to call on this journalist to refuse to take questions, to do this and that and so forth. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Hoggcast, hit the notification bell, share this video around, let me know what you think below. I am the underdog of conservative commentators, and if you like underdogs, then I will soon have a membership scheme for you, the coffee club, to support the underdog. You don't have to, but that'd be nice if you could. Right, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.